everyone, it's Jenny from Art with Jenny K. The teaching video I have put together for you is all about how you can make your own agamographs with your students. Now, what's an agamograph? An agamograph is a really cool 3D project that morphs from one image to the next as you walk from side to side. Traditionally, art teachers use agamographs in their classroom with their students. But as an art educator who's trying to help classroom teachers infuse their classrooms with as much art as possible, I've gone through and removed a lot of the prep and the mess that goes along with making an agamograph in the attempts of making them as easy as possible for classroom teachers. Teachers like to use these at all different times of the year for a variety of holidays and through the seasons. While I have been creating agamographs for classroom teachers, a lot of teachers have reached out to me and they've said that their students really loved making the agamographs and they would love to know how to make them from scratch. That's why I have created this video to help you learn exactly how you can make your own agamographs with your classroom students. Now in this video, I use the popular emojis as an example. But of course, you could use just about anything. You could use still lifes, landscapes. It really doesn't matter. The kids will come up with great ideas, they'll have a lot of fun, and I think you'll see how excited they'll be when they're given the opportunity to make art in the classroom. The footage in this video was taken from a Facebook Live event. I have gone through, edited, added, and tried to make it as helpful for you as possible. You'll also see some student examples of children who have created agamographs all on their own. The first thing you'll need is a large sheet of paper. This is 12 by 18 inches. Then you'll need two smaller pieces. So you're going to want the 12 inches high, and then you're going to want 9 inches across the top on two separate pieces. And then on the two small ones, you're going to have your kids or your students draw and then color the different emoji expressions. This is actually concentrated. So you can dilute it with water or you can just use it in concentrate, whatever works for you. For this one, I just put it in little cups. You can put it in egg cartons. You can have it in like the little Dixie cups with the tops on them so that you can kind of save them from kid to kid. The biggest thing with watercolor is that you use a brush that's got really soft bristles. So this is a watercolor brush that's also soft, but use this with probably kindergarten through 2nd grade. I'd want something a little bit finer detail from 3rd grade and on because they would want to do more details and they also have more of the fine motor. So that's what I used to paint these, and with this I didn't dilute it at all, so I just used it straight from the container concentrated. The other thing you can use with watercolor are your watercolor trays. So you probably have these in your room, but this works fine. You just tend to get a little bit of a lighter color if you are to use these. And so it might just take the kids a few more coats to get the darker color that you would want. This really can be done with anything. I just am showing you the emojis, but if you wanted to do landscapes or still lifes or anything really, that would be fine. So this is one of the expressions that I made. The other one is already cut up, like this. So one thing I want to point out at this step is that I made two very contrasting colors so that when this finally goes together, the background of the green and the background of the pink really show up nicely. Like in black and white and in color is a nice way to work with this. So that's kind of up to you to choose. I like to kind of pre-think through those things so that when the kids get the paints at their table, I've kind of already figured those things out for them and they can be a little bit more successful. First outlined with pencil and then traced with Sharpie. Now it's really important if you're going to paint these with any kind of a water-soluble paint that you outline in a permanent marker, because if you were to outline in, say, a Crayola, then when you go to paint this, the water would mix with the Crayola and then it would smear and make a big mess. So if you're going to have them outline it, you could also use a crayon, but so I've used a black Sharpie for that. And then you want to come to your large paper, and at every 1 inch, you're going to have the kids make a mark all the way across the top. Then a little bit lower, you'll have them make a mark as well. Then flip their ruler and connect it. Now honestly, I know what you're thinking. This is probably the hardest part of this project, which I know seems crazy, but we all know what it's like with the rulers. So that's one of the reasons that I think this project is so great with students, is because it gives them the real world, let's say, application of why they need to measure correctly, because if they don't, these aren't going to be 1 inch wide, and then their picture's not going to work in the end. So as hard as it is, as painful as it is, it's really important, I know you know this, but that they line it up at the 0, because as we know, they like to line up at the edge, and if you have the wooden rulers or something with the jagged edges, it doesn't work so good. So even though it's painful and it takes a while, it's such a great skill for them practicing with their rulers and their math. So I have them go through, check 1, 1, 1, scoot it over because this is 18 inches, go down. Then go down at the bottom, do the same thing, turn the ruler, and very carefully connect the 2 lines. Now, depending on the grade level you're working with, kids can help with this. So if one kid needs to help hold it down and another kid needs to draw the line to just kind of, while they're kind of learning that, it's kind of a fine skill, right? To hold the ruler down, to draw the line without pushing the ruler. So those are the kinds of things that, even though they seem really small, they're actually pretty huge, because it's a technique and a skill that I ran into all the time, and I think that it's something that kids really need to work on. So once they've done that, then they're going to fold. The first one goes back, then I have the kids use the ruler for all the forwards. They line it up and then crease it. You work your way all the way down until you have an accordion fold. You can do a couple things. If you want to give your kids more practice on measuring and cutting, then you can have them on the back, you can have them go through and measure at the 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, all the way across. This is 9 inches across, and then you can have them do the lines and then cut the strips. Or if you have a nice handy paper cutter and you want to sort of speed this process up, it's kind of important that it's accurate, then you can go through with a paper cutter and you can actually cut these yourself. The next part, once these strips are all cut out, they, as you can imagine, very easily get mixed up. So I have the kids go through, and after they've cut them, I have them lay them out on the table and number them and letter them, sort of with a key. So B1, B2, B3, etc. And then on their actual paper, I would have them do A1, B1, A2, B2, A3, B3. Is take the strips and they're going to glue them into the proper place. Very simply, you're just going to have the kids put a line of glue, and then you're going to have them place this in the right strip. You can either have them hold and count to, say, 10 till it gets dry, or you can just pull out a whole bunch of paper clips and have them go through and paper clip the ends until they hold. It's really kind of up to you. So they'll repeat that process all the way down until they get to the end. This is the front view. From the side, and then from the other side. Imagine when these go up on the wall, the amazement that the kids have when they go from side to side to side to side. Thank you for watching, and thank you for making art with your students.